What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I just got over here to the shop. I'm at B&K Performance, and I just opened all the doors. It's like 150 degrees in the trailer here. It feels like anyway. But we want to talk a little bit today about dig or die. A couple things about drag racing in general. Everybody that drag races, they know they have rules. There's rules in place. A lot of racers that live in the gray area of the rules. And it's up to the promoters, it's up to the organizers to have some type of tech so that they can keep everybody on a level playing field. And so dig or die has traditionally, it's been a very light rule package. They were trying to let as many people come play as that could. And so it's like anything, it grows, it expands, it gets more complicated. And so, you know, we had a great time. There's a couple rules that changed recently. One of the rules was you used to have a factory firewall and a factory floor. And, you know, they could be modified a little bit from factory for clearance, but you couldn't cut the whole thing out. And so that recently got dropped. And so, you know, you get people, they start pushing the envelope. This is big money race, guys. I mean, $500 entry. They were hoping to get 200 cars. It was going to be a $100,000 race. We ended up with a few less cars than the 200, but it was a big money race. It was like, it had to be $70,000 or so to win. And so, you know, we had a lot of cars there. And so like anything, when you have big money, big names start coming to look at it. And so there was a couple big name racers there, killer cars. And so the rules were kind of vague. And so some of these cars have a little bit of factory frame rail, like the old 10.5 cars with the factory frame rail. And the organizer said that was fine, so they're going to have to either open up the rules or tighten down the rule set more, so that the spirit of the class, the spirit of dig or die, has always been for your average Joe. It's been for your person that doesn't have a $1 million setup. And, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's just it's always been a cheaper budget class. I think dig or die has reached a point to where they're going to have to clamp down and actually have tech on the cars. They can't leave it up to the racers to tech one another, because that throws a whole bunch of drama that is not necessary. So ultimately, the dig or die staff, in my opinion, they've done a great job. They do a great job, but this thing is just expanded to the point where they've got to have legitimate tech. Okay, if a car shows up and it doesn't meet the spirit of the rules, then, you know, okay, you're way in a gray area, or you're even outside the black and white, then, you know, you can't race. And so it's one of those things. I mean, they're working on this. It's a work in progress, and, you know, that's not a bad thing. You know, NHRA is always getting involved, and apparently they're going to start getting involved in these top of the tracks. And so in order to continue to do it at the top, they said, for insurance purposes, cars cannot have external weight outside the body lines of the car. We were starting to see some pretty extravagant contraptions with, you know, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 200 pounds hanging off the car, real high up in the air. And, you know, it was kind of, people were using their imagination. There was no rules. It was no holds barred. And so apparently NHRA did not like that. And so they made a rule saying all weight has to be mounted within the body lines of the car. And so, you know, when you're doing this no prep racing, especially at the back of the track where the track is no good, you got to have the weight in the right location. And that's as far back as you can get it. And generally you want it as high as you can get it. Well, I've got a trunk, I've got a Mustang, and I can't get it real high. And so previously I had a little bit of weight hanging off of the parachute mount, and that gave me a good bias and the car worked. And so with this rule change, I was not able to do that. And so I piled a bunch of weight in the trunk of the car, and I still couldn't get the bias even close to where I had it before. And so I struggled. And so there was a couple people that showed up with wings on their car that were really big. And, you know, they fit inside the rule. And it's one of those things I thought about doing. I was like, okay, I can make a wing and I can put some lead in it. Or I can make a wing and I could put, just make it out of really thick, heavy material. And, you know, and then be in that gray area of the rules. I don't like living in the gray area. I like to race in the black and white. But the cars, there was a couple cars there that clearly, you know, the external weight didn't affect them at all, because they were rocket fast. But then a lot of cars were like me. We were struggling. And, you know, when you're struggling with a weight bias, you just can't go. So, you know, I went out third round, super happy. The car run really good. But I think dig or die is at that point, they're going to have rule set to make it so that the stuff is more spelled out, black and white. There's no gray. Anyway, guys, I just want to talk a little bit about dig or die. So it's race week again. We're heading to No Prep Kings in Darlington. Now, this is the front of the track. And so the track's going to come around pretty good. And so we're going to be racing at Darlington. Come see us. Don't forget to go to turbojohnracing.com to grab yourself some merchandise. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, we also got our winners of the Flip Coin giveaway. If your name's here, you guys should have received an email from us. So y'all respond to that so we can get these shipped out. Randy, Richard, Billy, and Mike. I appreciate y'all all participating. So what we're going to be doing today is undoing everything we done last time. And so basically these front struts have got to come back off. My radial valve struts have got to go back on. I got to change the bar angles in the back of the car, and I've got to change tires. I'm going to take those Hoosiers off, and I'm going to put the Mickey Thompsons back on. All right, let's go get to work on this thing real fast. All right, guys, so the radial valve double adjustable struts are back on. And you can see the ride height is kind of low. Those have got the 14-inch 100 springs on it. I think it was, or maybe they were 95s. I can't remember. They're 14 inches, so you have to run it way up. And notice how this thing is even settling some more. So I'm probably going to have to run that up a little bit higher a little bit later. And I did decide I am going to go ahead and keep these all together with the spring on it with the spacer and everything, so that I don't have to worry about the ease of getting it on and off. It makes it a lot easier. And I've also been looking back at this thing. This thing may be making a comeback this year. I mean, I was just looking at the way I could get weight in this thing. Man. So I don't know what to do. I'm still kind of struggling a little bit with exactly what I want to do with the new car. I was going to wait for sure, but the way I got my butt kicked at Dig or Die, I am rethinking that, just because this thing is freaking heavy. I mean, this is a heavy car. You know, it's still got carpet in it. Just recently took out the interior stuff. I mean, the dash is gutted. Oh, I don't know if I've ever seen this. This is an ex-North Carolina Highway Patrol car. I did not realize that was actually made it valuable until I cut it up and made it a race car. I mean, this thing has still got factory floor pans. It's not mini tub. There's a lot of weight in this car. I mean, I could cut it up and make it into a race car, but that's why I'm doing the new car. So I don't know. But I know that we're going to No Prep Kings, and that's changed. And now I'm about to get under here and take the anti-squat back out of it, because it ended up being quite aggressive on the anti-squat down there, which is what I wanted to try to do. So we're going to move the upper control arm back up a hole, and then I was going to swap the tires over tonight. I'm going to go from the Hoosiers to the Mickey Thompson stiffs, the 28 10.5 non-W's is what we have to run at No Prep Kings. So we're going to go into there, do that real fast, adjust that, and then I think we're going to be done for tonight. And I'll get back over here maybe Thursday night and finish the tires and maybe adjust the ride height. I've still got all the weight in the back of the car. So I've got like, I think it's like 300 pounds, 250 pounds of weight I got to pull out the back. So then, of course, that's going to raise the back of the car. So I got to lower it back down. So I still got quite a bit to do before Friday. Y'all come see us, No Prep Kings, Darlington Dragway, Friday night small tire, and Saturday small tire. Should be a great time. Y'all come see us. Don't forget to go to turbojohnracing.com to grab yourself some merchandise. Later, guys.